was going to ask you because I know you guys say y'all fight against this kind of misinformation and just a lot of lies out there that's going on in the Twitter world. So what are some examples, or just what is some misinformation that's happening out there that you guys have been fighting against, or even just trying to get people to see what's really, to try to see them the right way or see what's really going on. Do you guys have any examples of just kind of what you guys have been doing?
This way you're gonna probably see Shauna get a little. He old and get the little beeper button ready if she start saying a few. I'm just playing.
That's
No.
okay.
I'm just playing.
But any one of you can start. If Shauna, you want to start, that's fine.
I got
You want to
you.
take that one?
Brent?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
First off, of course, if it was just right wingers, white folks, I would expect that, and I'm ready for that. I'm armed for that. And see, I've only been on Twitter for about a few months, but when I saw our people that look like the four of us
Mhm.
talking about not voting or wording it a certain way to say vote for Trump and Republicans. No check, no vote, no reparations, no vote. You all cold. What's another one, Shauna? The lost track.
Tangibles.
Yeah, Democratic shields,
Mhm.
goons. That has been baffling me, and I'm just like, this is coming from our people.
Mhm.
And then when they do that secretly stuff, trying to say Trump really wasn't that bad and all that kind of stuff, I'm going
Mhm.
like,
So there's been some bad faith actors lately. Uncle Luke has been
Uncle
circulating.
Luke Campbell, Mildred,
Oh my god.
Uncle Luke.
In politics.
pop,
Yes.
pop,
So
pop that Luke
Yeah.
Campbell.
He oh my god. Yeah. So the last several weeks he's been very loud and very wrong. Asking, saying what has Joe Biden done for Black people? Name
How we
5 things
voting?
Joe Biden has done for the Black community. And
Listen,
the thing is that um, on Twitter, I come with receipts, and the people that I follow and follow me, we have receipts.
Mhm.
So we came with receipts. He opened up a Twitter Spaces, and he brought up people that only agreed with him, and they started, talking their stuff, talking about tangibles and
That's
they
another one.
want the Democratic Party to burn down and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. And he's like, I just wanted people to answer my question. Okay, we've answered it several times. What do you want?
Right.
And then we went back in his post, and he was talking about Rubio and stuff like that. Well, if you support Rubio, just say that. You live
Right.
in Florida, so you have a messed up governor. There's a senator's race in your state. What have you done to help Val Demings, who's trying to win a Senate seat out there? You've done nothing to help her. So what are you trying to do? So he's a bad faith actor. He's had his head inflated the past couple of weeks because people have been sharing his stuff around. So there's a lot of people acting in bad faith out here that have a platform, and I'm just kind of irked about that. So he's wealthy, and so it's not going to matter for
So
him
he's
who's in
safe.
office or
Right.
who's what party has control of the House or Senate. That's not going to matter for him.
Mhm.
But for people that look like us, it very much matters. There's a war right now with the Supreme Court, and there's so many issues at stake. 2010, I was in my 20s and very
Right.
self-absorbed. I didn't vote, so I regret that. But I'm older and wiser now, and I mean we can't survive another 2010. So
Right.
we had a whole insurrection last year, and so I just I have no patience for people that are trying to overthrow our democracy or aid people in doing so. And so there's a lot of bad faith actors, and so anyone that's trying to sow discord, so people like him, and There's a bunch of there's a bunch of Black people who identify as ADOS, African Descendants of Slavery, or FBA, Foundational Black Americans, that are trying to run on a reparations platform. I've tried in good faith to ask them what are your intentions? Why are you, they're running in Congress against our elders. There's a man that's primarying Jim Clyburn. He's a majority whip. Number 3 important person in Congress. Why are you running against him? What are you trying to prove? They have a Republican platform. They're anti-immigrant. They're anti-abortion. They're pro-gun, which is fine with me. But I mean, they have a GOP platform. Why are you primarying a respected Black man? Him and his supporters have been very disrespectful, towards this man. I just don't know who raised these people. I don't know. But this
was crazy. Every time somebody has asked him, why are you running as a Democrat? You sound like a Republican. And his only response is, because I can.
Right.
That's all he says.
Right. Because we can. And so his
I want to run out in traffic. Does it make it smart just because I can?
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
And then also, like with Shauna bringing up, I quit calling him Uncle Luke after this mess. He didn't call Luke after this, like Tiff said, and she was one of the first ones to come out and gave him tangible things that this administration has done from the get-go. And my thing is, why are you talking? You probably you sat and talked with the vice president when she was running for president. And you spoke real highly of her, and now it's all of a sudden you didn't ice cube yourself, basically, and I kind of lost my train of thought. If you well, okay, main thing Tiff said, and I really like. She said if he were to post something in consideration of this administration and the things that they would do, he said he probably would only get 5 to 10 likes, and that would probably come from people like us that support the administration. But you got to gaslight it, so you put something out there real controversial, and you getting, what was that one post he put out there, and he got like 15,000 likes and 6,000 comments or something like that.
I don't think it was that many. He got ratioed to death because we made sure.
Oh yeah, it was. Yep, you're right. I'm sorry. Right, because he got more people like y'all coming in there with the receipts.
We made sure. Yeah, there's always receipts. These people don't read. It's okay. We check disinformation. So.
And that's the bad thing about it. People don't read, or they don't. And reading it is so fundamental. And I mean, and in this day, my dad said back in the day, we had to use an encyclopedia. Y'all got Google now. Y'all can just Google it, and if it's real or not, to know if it's actual factual or not. And people don't even do that. I mean, and people be, and that burns me up too. They'll just put stuff out there. They'll keep bringing up Kamala Harris locked up 1,500 Black men. Joe Biden kept $45 billion from HBCUs, and boy, we ran that into the ground when that happened. He giving $30 million for crack. What was that thing with the crack pipes and all that?
Crack pipes and stuff.
Yeah. So it's been an ongoing battle for these last few months, but you know what? It's real. So somebody got to come out there with the truth.
I saw that thing that you posted on Instagram where that lady was talking about, people were talking about what has Joe Biden done, and she was listing all the things that he's attempted to do, but it won't get passed because of certain people. So
exactly.
I was like, yeah. So if people actually take a listen to that and look at that and find all those things that he's actually trying to do, but he can't get it done because of the people that won't pass it. Right. I mean, if those things got passed, then you wouldn't have nothing to say, because that would be a major, all those things would be major. You know what I'm saying? Right. So all this stuff, that's important.
he's done a lot in the past, 16 months since he's been president, for a splintered Congress. And I think, and here's the part that people don't understand, it takes 60 Senate votes to pass something. So in the House, it takes a simple majority. In the Senate, it takes 60 votes. The only things in the Senate that take 50 votes are something that goes through the budget reconciliation. So, and that takes 50 plus, the tiebreaker. So right now there's 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans. So that was how the American Rescue Plan got through, and that's how the infrastructure bill got through, was through the budget reconciliation. So anything else, it takes 60 votes. Now, the Democrats can get rid of the filibuster, but that takes 50 Democrats to agree to do that, and there are 2 that are holding out on that.
On everything.
So that's the thing. So that's simple math, and so we need more Democrats.
Oh, Shauna, what about that one Luke put out there about the 3 branches of government? And he said Democrats run all 3 branches of government.
No.
And can you just explain that real quick?
Are the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch. And I think people kind of think that the House, the Senate, like in the White House, are the 3 branches of government, and they're not.
Right.
They're not.
I think they taught that to us in school.
Thank you, Mildred.
And in his day, there was Schoolhouse Rock. So I hope that
Or the conjunction junction, what's his function, I guess.
Exactly. And so people think, well, Joe Biden can't do anything about 2 Democrats. Okay, well, I don't know what they want him to do. If they want him to, threaten them, and I'm not, I'm not sure what he can legally do,
Mm-hmm.
And I used to watch Scandal, I used to see how they used to get down, I'm not above any of that stuff, but this is real life. So it is what it is. We need more senators. And so that's what we have to do in November. I'm glad we got 50 because we had less than that before November. So, there are people saying to fire the parliamentarian back in January of last year, because that's what Republicans did when we had a 50-50 scenario in 2001. But the thing is the difference is back then is that all 50 Republicans were on board with the agenda. Right now we have 2 Democrats that are not on board. So it's
very good point
scenario. So, and people can get mad at the 2 Democrats. I'm tired of being mad at them. They're not up for re-election until 2024. We need more Democrats in 2022. And there's 50 Republicans, again, that won't do anything. So be mad at them.
Exactly.
There's 50 that are obstructing everything, so be mad at them and replace some of them.
So we have a hashtag out now. If we get a 53 pickup, Joe Manchin and Christian Center become non-existent. Of course, we want more than that, but that's just the bare minimum that we need to get the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed. Oh, I'm sorry.
I want 55.
Yeah, I want as much as we can get. I want 55. I want a super majority.
I don't trust Bernie Sanders at all. So I don't
either.
At all. So I would like us to get as many as possible. So there's 5 battleground states that people keep talking about, but I don't like to count out any state. I like to kind of keep them all,
right?
Because depending on the circumstances, you can there's things can kind of fall into place. But the states to keep an eye on that people are looking at now, there's Florida, there's Ohio, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and there's one more.
Story entire by itself.
What's the one I'm missing?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, yes. So North Carolina, Sherry Beasley, another Black woman, she's already won the nomination out there. Val Demings is going to win the nomination in August. There's a Black man, Lieutenant Governor of Wisconsin, Mandela Barnes, who's looking good for August primary in Wisconsin, but it's a 3-way race out there. Ohio, Tim Ryan won the primary out there, and that's a battleground. Pennsylvania, John Fetterman won the primary. That's a long story. I'm going to expound upon here and bore you all with on this podcast this evening. But those are the battleground states, and My home state of Missouri is not listed as a battleground, but I am not counting that one out.
Right.
There's a very disgraced ex-governor that's running for senator, and he is high in the polls. Should he win the nomination, then Democrats have a chance out in Missouri because he is that unpopular. Popular enough to maybe get the nomination, but unpopular statewide to win. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Missouri. So, we have a chance, but it's going to require turnout and stuff. And then, of course, I want to keep an eye on Arkansas, with Natalie James, and then, other states, as well. This is something that is very important. And then, of course, we have to keep the House. Right now, we only have like a 10-vote majority. There's 30 Democrats retiring. So, we have to remember to hold on to the House as well. If we lose the House, then we're, looking at the same thing as 2010, where no legislation gets passed. And
Right.
I mean, we can't really do anything. President Biden can still confirm judges, and that's about it. But we're not going to be able to get any legislation passed, So that's why this is so important. We definitely have to make sure everyone gets out to vote in 2024. And what I'm doing here in Texas this summer, I'm trying to coordinate something, hopefully with the DNC, to hold some type of voter registration event. Hopefully somewhere, somehow, we're going to have to come up off some money somewhere because this stuff isn't free to organize. But that's something I would like to do because Texas had record turnout in 2020. We had 12 million or 11 million out of 18 million people vote, but that means 5 million people still didn't vote. That could have. So still have a lot of room for opportunity. So we definitely need to get the vote out here for Beto and get rid of Abbott. So that's what I'd like to do here in our state. And then, of course, try and lend some assistance to other states as well.
Right. Those are very good points. It's actually good that you brought up the House, because the next question I wanted to ask you guys, I guess just kind of based on what you guys are seeing right now in politics and just kind of in our country, what direction do you guys feel like the government is headed? And that can be on, however you feel to answer it, whether it's on any level, local, whatever level you decide to answer them. But how do you guys feel like the climate is headed? Like you said, in the House, 30 representatives are leaving from the Democratic Party, so that could change things if we don't get the majority. So
We are knocking on going back to where our parents were and grandparents if Republicans take back any type of control. You got Kevin McCarthy, that will be the majority leader of the House, and this is the craziest thing. They said one of the first things they said they're gonna get rid of is this committee that's investigating them on January the 6th. And some of them Trumpsters really want to get Kevin out of there, get Trump as the House Speaker.
Yes,
And
that's what
then,
they will do. They will
and
make Trump the speaker. Forget McCarthy.
right. And
And
then they're gonna try to and then if they get the Senate and the House, impeach President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And if they do it in the Senate and impeach them there, and who's the third most in control? Speaker of the House. I mean, they have said this. So y'all, I don't know why people out here saying our people are out here saying why we got to be the most divided first of all as a Democratic Party and then also as a people. That I don't understand. Republicans they can't stand Donald Trump, but they fall in line. But for us, like you said, Sean, we gotta have tangibles and stuff. We ain't got our check. You ain't getting our vote. Joe ain't did nothing. We still in the same. Both of them the same. Trump and Joe Biden are the same. Both parties are the same and all that. Man, get out of your feelings. Know what's the situation at hand and vote. And every election should be voting like your life depends because it really does. especially this election.
I talked to somebody and I made the analogy, uh, and I'm always using analogies with sports and stuff. I was like, okay, so even if Joe Biden wasn't your guy, he's still playing quarterback for your team. So for you to just, if he's throwing the ball and you refusing to catch the ball, that means the team is going to lose because you own the same team. And so I mean that's what I'm talking about with the Democrats not, some of the Democrats not trying to, not trying to go with Joe Biden.
Right.
He's the representative. So he may not have been the guy you wanted, but he's representing for the team that you're a part of. So get with it. I mean, I
That's a
don't.
good point.
That's one thing, and I think Brent, you followed that up last time. That's one thing the Republicans do well, even if they don't agree with whoever the leader is, or even the president, for that matter. They seem to get on the same page. It's hard to, it feels like it's hard to really divide them, and you may have a couple of people here and there that may come out against some of the things that they do and say, but they really seem to get. I'm not saying the Democratic Party's um not together like that, but it just, I guess just from appearance it seems like the Republicans really do that, and really get behind, I guess just because we already know, Trump, is
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, they fall in line because they don't have a platform. So that's why it's easy for them to fall in line, because the only platform is bigotry and racism and hatred. So it's easy to get behind that. They don't have
Right.
anything else they stand for. So Democrats, we have like a far left wing that,
Mhm.
we don't really, I mean, we don't really agree with, how to get to the place we want to get to. But we have a big tent party, so we have, we have differing ideas on how to get there.
Right.
And we actually have platform and policy ideas that we differ on.
Mhm.
And that's how we differ with the GOP, because they don't have any policy ideas except for to obstruct everything that we do
Right.
and to deregulate everything,
Right.
except everything except for personal stuff. So they want to regulate like women's bodies and regulate others, personal stuff, but like deregulate guns and other things like that. So they, but their main platform is hatred. So that's why it's easy for them to fall in line, versus Democrats. So I don't agree with the left wing on most stuff. I don't like their populist approach, but it's easy to be part of a party when there's no platform at all. So
Mhm.
I'm just hoping that people understand the importance of this election coming up, because we can't afford what happened in 2010 to happen again.
Right.
Like we can't, like there's no law that says you have to be elected official to be Speaker of the House. So if Republicans take the House, they definitely will make Trump the Speaker of the House. He'll bully his way into it. So Kevin McCarthy won't be Speaker of the House. It will be Donald Trump. So
Right.
that's scary to think about that. So
Mhm. Yeah. And so just kind of based on what I'm hearing from just kind of from both of you is that there is a lot of misinformation out there. Um, and really everyone, we should be reading it and keeping up with these elections and what's going on, making sure that we're supporting our candidates, and getting the word out there. Um, I guess what's the best, I guess I know you guys have already given multiple points. So I guess just kind of if you summarize it, what's the best way we can fight against, what's happening, whether it's in our party or against another party that we may not agree with. I kind of I guess I would say we all seem to identify as a Democrat here tonight, but I guess even for someone who may not, come on, you gotta talk to everybody, right? You can't, we gotta learn how to work together sometimes. But I mean, even maybe someone who doesn't agree, with your views or with how you see things, how how do we how do we go forward? How do we try to make this work? Um, I guess in this climate that's going on, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of
Yeah, oh, that makes perfect sense. As soon as you hear a lie, come back with the truth. As soon as you hear, because the lie's gonna travel a whole lot further than the truth does, right? So as soon as as soon like in our group, as soon as we see the lie, either you got Terry, who was good at graphics and putting down bullet points and little videos real to make it make his point, and it's like a little 30-second clip. Me, on the other hand, I'm making all type of graphics and stuff on how showing the BS right at hand. You got people like Shauna who comes out with the game of telling the truth, putting the truth in writing on her page.
Mhm.
Then you have people like Tiff. She does her weekly recap of what happened in the week. And then if it's BS that has happened, she hits it right off. And that's how everybody is. And D, after in California, he don't mind dragging folks, and just telling you lying. Why are you putting this out here for our people to see? And that's not the truth.
Mhm.
And then we have those when they have those spaces and stuff, and we're in those rooms with those people, and then it's like when they hear the truth, they can't accept it. They cannot accept it. And it's not like we're just saying it and we're just putting it out there. We coming with facts. We coming with numbers. We coming with receipts on why this is the truth.
Mhm.
But it ain't that we out here caking for Democrats. We telling y'all the truth.
Mhm.
And it's not a lie.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, if it's something the Democrats are doing that's not right, we're not a cult. We'll tell that too. If it's something they off the wall with, we're gonna no, bro, that ain't it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we're not like the Trumplicans where everything this man said is the God honest truth. If there's something out here that is not true within our party, we don't mind telling it. But we're going to also tell it when they're doing something good. And in the 16 months Joe Biden has been in office, he's done the very best with what he has. I have to admit, you had
The,
Trump for the last 4 years crying infrastructure. And the only way he met with Schumer and Pelosi about infrastructure, if they would have dropped their investigations on him. Once she said, "No, we're not doing that," they kept on going, and then he just dropped the whole infrastructure. 10 months. What did Joe Biden, Kamala Harris do? They came in and got the infrastructure bill passed, bipartisan passed. As split as our nation is, we got it passed.
Mhm.
First bill he got passed, the American Rescue Plan, 50% of children out of poverty. Come on now. I mean, what? And that's for our people. And then if you follow Terry, he went in depth on how the American Rescue Plan helped African Americans. He also went in depth on how this infrastructure bill is going to help African Americans because they always crying, well, what is in it for us? What's in it for us? It ain't addressing my needs. But go ahead, Sean. I know you want to
Well,
drive me.
if we get more senators, we can get Build Back Better. I mean,
Exactly.
that was another $1 trillion plan that was on the president's agenda. So,
Right.
you
So
know,
that's actually the American Rescue Plan that was for those few months. That would be it for what, 10 years? Is that the bill?
yeah, I think five to 10 years,
Five to
and
10
so
years.
I'm looking forward to that. And there's so much more that we can get with with a Senate, that that is more favorable, for us. So the
Hmm.
senators in those states I named are committed to ending the filibuster, or at least carving out the voting rights and the women's rights. So I'm full disclosure. I don't mind the filibuster. I don't think civil rights should be part of it. So anything involving civil rights shouldn't take 60 votes. But the filibuster saved us during the Trump years. There's
Mm.
a lot of stuff that failed because of it, because the Republicans didn't have 60 votes. Trump wanted McConnell to get rid of it, and McConnell told him no. which they didn't have an agenda. That's why he didn't want to get rid of it, because they didn't really have anything they needed to pass. He got the judges, they had their 50 vote threshold for judges, so that's all they really wanted, so they didn't really need to get rid of the filibuster. So the filibuster did save us during those years. So, people are talking about it now. We do have legislation agendas that we want to pass. So I do think, they need to either get rid of it or at least carve out the civil rights stuff for it. They need to figure that portion out. I don't know how many senators that we have right now on board with getting rid of it for everything, but I do know that the senators that we have right now on the Democratic side are committed to at least getting rid of it, scrapping it for the women's rights, for codifying Roe and for voting rights. They've all committed to at least doing that. So I don't know how many are on board for completely getting rid of it, because I know there are a few holdouts on that. So I don't know. So that's important. So I know that that the people that are running would vote for Build Back Better. So we get some more senators and we will be able to get the president's agenda passed. And as far as disinformation goes, I agree with Brent. We just have to call it out as soon as it happens. And it's frustrating, but that's the wonders of the internet. It's a wonderful tool, it's a wonderful resource, but there's lots of trolls, lots of dividers ready to, bots and stuff. But it's also a good source for information. But since you do have, factual information at your fingertips, we can dispel the disinformation. It is like whack-a-mole, and once you whack somebody, there's another, person, another bot, popping up with something else. But it does get tiring. But in those spaces that, like Uncle Luke had, there were some people that were speaking truth, and I hold on to hope that maybe somebody was listening to the truth. Right. And maybe they were, retaining it, even though, he wasn't, that maybe someone was listening to it. Because again, we have receipts and stuff. He didn't have any receipts. He just had speculation and his opinion, but we had receipts. So receipts don't lie. So that's how you deal with disinformation, is just come back and combat it with receipts. So
So you got to have facts, you got to have receipts, right? To deal with that disinformation. So no, that's great. Thank you guys for that. And so